Get it on the jet sweep to the short side. Up the sideline. Sam McCaffrey. He is gone. Intercepted. It is intercepted by the Tigers. Stephen Brogan picks it off for LC.
Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gherkin Companies, along with Tory, Strock. I am Lynn, and our special guest this week from the Buck, Rick Stidham and Aaron Barajas. Guys, thanks so much for joining us this week. We're going to put you to the test.
Hey, we'll take it. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity.
Guys, give us a little bit of your history. I know, Rick, you're part owner, manager at the Wauseon Ace, the sports place over there, and have been a great supporter.
I've been at the Ace Hardware for it'll be 15 years in January.
Wow.
And just good people. That's what makes that whole thing work. You know, we've got a great staff, great sports department that's just growing all the time. So I always tell people, if you can imagine it, we can create it for you.
Yes, you can, and you guys are sponsoring our Gamecast this season. We're happy to partner with you guys, and thank you for your support. It's greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
I think the more minds, talking football, the better. I mean, I think it makes the whole season like, damn, let's do this, man. I like that. I've been doing floor carving for 25 years now. I own my own little business. This will be our 7th year with the Buck. And I enjoy every minute of it. It's an opportunity to watch football that we love. Watch the kids that we saw, growing up in our town. So I love it. I mean, it's a great place to be on Friday nights.
Aaron, what year did you say it was doing games?
This is our 7th year.
Seventh. Wow. And is it Wauseon every week?
Every week, home and away, yeah.
Okay.
You're making the trip to Bellevue this week, then.
Yeah, we were just talking about it on the way here. That's like an hour and a half. But hey.
Yeah, to get us a room.
Yeah.
We're watching football, why not?
And talking about football with the kids, we're fortunate enough we have a youth football program, like most of the areas do around here. I think we're going into year 27. You're the president of that group this year here, and it is fun to watch them. It is fun watching those kids go through those steps of progression, and then hopefully that turns into success once they hit the high school.
For sure. Well, appreciate you guys joining us. We'll see how you pick this week. We had Tom Ward, who's lives over in the Wauseon area. He did pretty good a week ago.
Yeah.
Gonna have to up your game.
Yeah.
Tom Ward made a couple of picks, and at the time I was kind of scratching my head going, I don't know about that one, and I'll be darned if he didn't nail a couple of them.
He did get a couple of them, and
he got a couple big ones.
I thought about giving him the chance to pick again.
I did too.
Give him a little more info.
I did too.
He didn't want it, and
I know.
He stuck with his guns.
I know, and he did pretty well.
We'll get you our pick'em record from a week ago as we progress on the show. If you haven't picked up your high school football magazine from Black Swamp Football, go grab one of those. You can get one at the sports place at Wauseon Ace. They've been a great supporter of ours, and you can pick one up over there, along with around 40 other locations around Northwest Ohio.
Right. Yeah, we do well with them. They're right there at the register. Very convenient.
Yeah.
I've watched a few people walk out with 2 or 3 in their hand,
Yeah, I've had to make the trip over to Wauseon 2 or 3 times to restock you guys, which is
I need some more.
Which is great.
Going back to Tom Ward. You remember when Tom played at Defiance?
Oh yeah.
He was a monster. And I used to run the lumberyard in Defiance years ago when it was out on 24 when I worked for Carter. Tom worked for me for about a half a minute. And the next thing you know, he was gone. With that football career, he's a heck of a kid.
He would have been nice to keep around at the lumberyard. He could have threw some lumber around for you.
Yeah,
he still could, too.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that. I had a conversation with him about a week ago. He's chiseled pretty well yet.
Yeah. Approaching 50 years old, and he still looks like he's 25.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mess with him back in his day.
No, you don't think you could take him?
Well, maybe now.
You in your prime, him in his prime?
I think I would have had a chance.
Okay.
I would have had a chance.
The one-on-one drill?
Yeah.
Oklahoma
Take a
drill.
piece of Tommy
Oklahoma
Ward.
drill.
Take a piece of Tommy Ward. You got some insight that he'd go in at halftime and start pumping the weights.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy that was a sophomore at Defiance, Tommy Ward's senior year, and he said he would go in, because Defiance, like pregame and halftime, a lot of times they would sit, at least back then, in the weight room. And he said Tommy Ward go in there at halftime, peel the shoulder pads, and just start repping it out on the bench, just for the heck of it. They might have been winning 35-0, but he couldn't get enough, you know?
Just to stay loose, yeah.
Yeah.
That Sausher kid from Wasion was he wouldn't go in and lift weights, but he was a force to reckon with back in the day.
Yeah. And what years did you play at Wasion, Rick? Did you tell us?
79.
79.
We were 19-1 the 2 years
Wow.
I was at Wasion.
They didn't make the playoffs one year.
Yeah.
Did not.
Well, that was just the top two, top two back then.
Single A, double A, and triple A at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we never got anything out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of good memories, though.
Yeah. There was a Swan team in that era.
Paul Younker's group,
Yeah.
79?
Yeah, I think they only gave
years we would have played, because I can remember that being at Swan, packed house, no one stand.
Yeah.
When PH came to Wasion when I was a junior, we beat them, but there was 3,000 people at Harmon Field.
Wow.
It was insane, the amount of people.
Yeah, that Swan team, I believe Paul has told me only gave up like 12 or 16 points all year.
All year, yeah.
Lost one game and didn't get in the playoffs.
That was week 9 for us when I was a junior, and no one scored on our defense until that week.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a feat.
Guys played some defense back then.
Yeah, we had Keith Fritz was our defensive coordinator, which story goes Keith has passed away, but he was highly recruited by Toledo to be their defensive coordinator, but he wanted to stay in Wasion with Coach Fruth, and what was Fruth, Myers, Snyder, and Coach Fritz back in the day.
Rick, you talked about some of those crowds, and we've touched on this before. You don't see, sometimes you do if you have a marquee matchup, but you don't see the crowds now like you used to back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's just so much more to do.
Yes, there is.
Soccer, for one, because a lot of times, I don't know if they're scheduling them on a safe night, but families are all busy. There's just so much stuff going on.
Yeah, and you can watch them online a lot of times now.
Listen to them on the buck. Why would you not listen to these two guys?
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's kind of odd because with technology, with the phones, we'll get a text message from someone from Colorado or Florida or Arizona, listening in. And we tell them, hey, text us, if we get an opportunity, we'll shout out to you, that kind of thing.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
have a good time. A little bit of homework ahead of time, watch some huddle and, go through just go through notes and things like that and look forward to the next week.
You guys ever try to help Coach Moore out and give him some suggestions, or do you just stay in your lane?
A little bit of both. I see some stuff, and I think he looks at me like, I can't get kids to commit what they're trying to do.
Our Gamecast this week will be at Clymer Stadium in Columbus Grove as Liberty Benton in town, sponsored by the Sports Place at Wasion Ace. We'll be down at Columbus Grove for that matchup. We'll break that one down here a little bit later. Tory and I won't pick, but we'll get picks from these two guys.
That sounds good. I talked to our Black Swamp Safe Pet contact today, and he's fired up about our dog of the game the first 2 weeks. Was it Goose Hinojosa?
Yes.
From Defiance, and then the running back from Waupun.
Yeah, Mullen.
Mullen, yes.
Garrett Mullen.
So those dog tags are already ordered.
Oh, they are?
Yes, they are.
Man.
So Goose is going to probably be able to roll into week 3 or 4 with that dog tag on.
That'll be pretty nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep. So,
Did you get one for me?
Not yet.
You're still working on that?
Not yet. Did you say you wanted black? What color
black,
did you say?
black.
All right.
Yeah. If you can make that
Hey,
happen.
you heard that dog tag, don't you?
Hey, I carry this guy for the next 4 months.
Well, if he goes head-to-head with Tommy Ward, he earned the dog tag.
Yeah, I'd do that. I'd go head-to-head with Tommy Ward for a dog tag.
Who are you guys betting on?
It's easy, man.
I'm taking T-Dub.
Who invited these two guys? Well, Saturday morning, Rise and Rewind, 9 a.m. Okay with you again, Coach Strock?
9 a.m.'s great.
Perfect.
9 a.m.'s great.
We had a a historic audience for our
Yep.
Rise and Rewind last week, our best audience ever for that. YouTube Live, and then you can watch it later on YouTube, and boy, we've had a bunch of folks watch that. Can't thank all of our viewers enough for supporting us.
Yeah, it's awesome, and that's our Saturday morning show. We kind of recap everything from Friday night or Thursday and Friday night this week and have a good time. We never have a script, so sometimes things will go sideways. We'll be talking about what we like to grill and smoke and
That's a great topic, by the way.
Well, it is. I mean, it is. People like it.
You can go over and get your grilling accessories or your grills over at the Wasion Ace, right, Rick?
If it's out there, we have it.
I know.
Because I've been looking at those big green eggs, right? You guys have those.
Yep, we do the green egg in every size, so they have a mini all the way up to a 2X, which weighs about 450 pounds.
They look like
wow.
They're not fun to haul around, but hey, we have them. I mean, yeah, we've got Green Egg Traeger, Rectech, Weber is probably the best name that's out there in grilling, whether it's charcoal or natural or propane. But yeah, we sell a ton of grills, and we're actually getting ready to redo our grilling area.
You
So
are? Okay.
Next visit in,
Okay.
you'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to redo my back patio, probably maybe next summer or the summer after, but I'm going to come over and find out the best grill and smoker, because those are going to be on my patio.
Yeah, there's actually, I can remember when we started out with sauces and rubs, we had a little 3-foot end cap. Now we've probably got 36 feet of it.
Wow.
You know, besides all the bulk stuff of pellets and charcoals and wood chunks and all that crazy stuff.
Well, you're a pro at this, Rick, so what's your top sauce and your top rub, if you're going to pick one, or can't you pick just one?
Top sauce, Traeger, Sugar Lips.
Sugar Lips.
That's fantastic. And Callie's Smokehouse.
Okay.
You ever heard of him?
I've heard of that,
He's at
yes.
Route 49,
Yeah.
right there at the
Yeah.
Turnpike exit.
Yep.
He has a dry rub that's absolutely phenomenal. And he's a young guy, he's probably mid to late 30s. And when you go to that shop, it's the old Subway there by, I think it's a Pilot or Love's that's right there.
Okay.
He's busy, he's open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And when he sells out, he shuts the doors.
Wow.
So yeah, that's my favorite, his original rub. He just came out with a new one that it's not even labeled up yet, but I have a bottle of it at the house, or a container of it anyways.
What's the original one you mentioned?
It's just Callie's.
Callie's?
Callie's, that's his daughter's name.
Okay.
Callie, yeah.
I always like to make note of that. I'm always looking,
There you go.
They're right next to the Black Swamp books at the register.
Oh,
you guys carry it
right
Yeah,
there.
we carry it. yeah.
okay.
Oh, you can't beat that. You can pick up a magazine and
Pick up a
that, and
magazine
you're
and
all
stuff
set.
It's a win-win.
Get ready for college football this weekend. What are you guys throwing on the grill or your smoker?
I did a pork butt Saturday for about 12 hours.
12 hours. What kind of wood you use on that?
I'm sorry?
What kind of wood? Or do you
Pellets.
use pellets? You roast
I use
pellets.
it on a Traeger pellet
Okay.
stove.
Okay.
12 hours, low and slow, 180. I was up every 2 hours checking, make sure it was still on, full of pellets. I didn't sleep very good Saturday night.
What flavor pellets? Apple, hickory?
Hickory. Hickory.
Sounds
You can get
good.
hickory, cherry, mesquite, you can get a blend. So there's we probably have 20 different varieties of pellets. So like I
Wow.
said, if you're grilling and you're a grilling enthusiast, come and see me, because we'll get you taken care of.
Make sure you bring your wallet too. We're gonna spend it.
Aaron, what are you throwing on your barbecue or your smoker?
I'm more of a flank steak guy.
Okay.
Tacos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put char, chop them up, little nice hot sauce, tortilla. Bam.
Oh, man.
That's how you go.
Some wraps with it, yeah, for sure.
You guys couldn't bring one of those Traegers or a grill with you tonight and help us out?
Maybe next time they have a tailgater,
Oh, okay.
Traeger tailgater that you can do.
All kinds of possibilities. It's going to cost us though, Aaron?
No, nope, just come on.
I'm kind of interested in this flank steak.
Come over and see us Thursday at Coach's Corner, and then we're having, I think the heat is this week. So everybody brings a dish, and we set the menu. There's, 4 or 5 of us that started that group 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Kind of like the porch coaches.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly where we got the idea from.
Yeah.
Because him and I would go over there, especially when we first started with a buck.
That's
It's
good.
cool.
That's
That's
good.
awesome.
Shirts, we have, you can go in, transfers are already paid for. We had a donor buy the transfers, and then all you have to do is pay for a T-shirt, and we'll put it on there for you and send you on your way.
That's cool.
I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Outstanding. We got to hand out our rock solid performance presented by the Gherkin Companies from week 1, Coach. Think about that. Come back after these messages from the Gherkin Companies.
Who says a college degree is the only path to a fulfilling career? At the Gherkin Companies, we offer rewarding livelihoods with or without a degree. Gherkin provides a generous benefits package, continuous training, top-notch equipment, and a culture that rewards effort. We're looking for rock-solid performers to help build and reinforce the region's infrastructure. Whether you have construction experience or are just starting your career, apply now at gherkincompanies.com/careers.
Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gherkin Companies. Got to hand out our first rock solid performance of the week from week number 1, Coach Strock. Bracelets going to the winning team and a bunch of social media shout outs for the winning team from week 1. We have a lot of candidates, I would say. I have 3.
I have 3.
You have 3, okay.
have
I got
3.
Pandora Gilboa.
1.
Went over Columbus Grove. Pretty big upset as far as the odds probably go. If you're putting the odds on that matchup, that was a pretty big upset for Pandora Gilboa. Springfield over Maumee. And my third one, maybe this one will be different. I have St. Henry's win over Salina in dominating fashion.
Okay, I did not have that one. I had Liberty Benton, who was equally as dominant over Ottawa Schlandorf. Okay, but the other 2 match up. I had Pandora Gilboa. How can you not? But the one that just jumps off the page to me, what the Springfield Blue Devils did at Maumee in a game where I think most people considered them an underdog, but it's clear they didn't consider themselves an underdog. And I peeked at a little bit of that film today. That wasn't a fluke. That was not a fluke. Springfield has some kids, they have some athletes, and I think they're well coached. If they stay healthy, it's going to be fun to watch what Coach Arredondo does.
Sam Arredondo, hard to top what he did week 1. 42-14. It wasn't 14-10 or 14-7. It was 42-14.
I know.
Against the Maumee team that was flying high.
Yeah.
Went 8-3 a season ago, hosted a home playoff game, and they rolled into Kazmaier Stadium and just sanded them.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did, convincingly. So, nothing but respect for what Pandora Gilboa did and overcoming the deficit they did.
Twice they were down by 2 scores in that one.
Yes, they were. But for my money, and again, I'm flexible, but I like the Springfield Blue Devils.
I do too. I think it would be different if the margin was a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
But it was not tight.
No.
I like Springfield.
That's good. Those kids deserve it.
Yeah.
And Coach Arredondo deserves it.
Absolutely. You guys good with Springfield as our rock solid performance from week 1?
Yeah, I'd take that as well, yeah.
Okay. We didn't consult with Tommy Ward, but Tommy's probably got better things to do than to hear from us.
I think Tommy picked that game.
He did pick that game, so he probably would have picked Springfield himself.
He did, and when he said Springfield over Maumee, I thought, oh my gosh. He knew exactly what he was doing.
I kind of shook my head when he did that. Does he know something up there?
He does.
He's played football at Toledo. He may have some insight or inside information over there somewhere.
And then has coached half those kids at some point in their baseball career.
We talked about last week, he's coached them.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh boy. Tory, you took home the win in pick'ems from week 1, 37-10.
Slim.
Our good friend Braden Martin, 38-11. Our accountant from Martin RPI. Get on Martin RPI. I know his rankings. It takes a month or 6 weeks before they kind of sort out. Tom Ward, 38-11, and I've 11.
That's as tight as it gets.
Pretty close. Full disclosure, I know Tom Ward lacks some confidence, so I just want to give him a little confidence.
Okay.
In week 1.
I respect that.
Yeah, that's
Build him up a little bit.
Build him up. I know Tom struggles with that.
He's had some self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But he's walking a little taller today, buddy.
Yeah, he did beat me. And he tied Brayton. He's only one back of you.
And if he's that close to me, that's saying something.
But this week, I'm going to step it up. So you two guys better be prepared. I may not miss a game.
You sent that list over. Here's a few picks, and I'm looking and going, we're going to be there on Tuesday.
No, I I know, it's pretty daunting.
It is. All right, we're going to start with Perrysburg at Olentangy. Both teams 1-0. First meeting of the playoff era. Perrysburg thumped BG 64-0 last week. Olentangy beat defending Division I state champion Olentangy Liberty last week.
Wow.
And Perrysburg going to Olentangy.
Yeah, the Olentangy Braves, that's big boy football down there. I think this is a great game for Perrysburg because to get to where they need to compete with the size schools they're going to play down the road, they've got to tangle with.
And Liberty lost quite a few first-team All-Ohio and some pretty big stars from that team a year ago. But still, when you beat the defending Division I state champion pretty handily,
yeah,
I think that says something.
Yeah, Coach Dirk Connor will have the Jackets prepared, but I just think the Braves have too much for them to overcome. I'll take Olentangy to kick things off.
I'm going to take Olentangy too. Rick and Aaron?
I'm taking the Braves.
Okay.
Same, going
Okay.
Olentangy.
Going to go with clean sweep. Dirk Connor won't like that. That may be bad news for us.
No, but Anthony Wayne didn't like me picking against him last week, and
Yeah, that is definitely true.
see what happened.
Speaking of the Generals, they have St. John's Jesuit and Joe Horn coming to town this week. Anthony Wayne leads the series 4-2 in the playoff era. Anthony Wayne won the last 3 meetings. That classic 2021 game against St. John's, Brady Lichtenberg had a late touchdown pass in that one to win it for St. John's. AW went to Upper Arlington last week, lost 31-6. St. John's not tested in a 49-8 win over Toledo Scott. I like Anthony Wayne, though, in this one to bounce back and get to 1-1. But closer this time around.
What do you think, guys?
I'm going with the Generals, A-Dub, and a nail biter at the end.
At the end.
Yeah, there's some Wasion roots in Anthony Wayne. I think there was a Snyder was a football player there, and he may have a younger brother that might be in that program from Wasion. My granddaughter goes to school there as well, so I'm going with A-Dub.
I'm going Anthony Wayne. I think it's going to be 4 in a row.
Okay.
St. John's don't have enough.
These guys are sharp.
Yeah, they are.
They're sharp. I, too, like the Generals. Coach Joe Horn, very early in his tenure. We're going to find out where they're at. You know, can he make strides as big as Josh Linke kind of did at St. Francis? We're going to find out. I like Anthony Wayne at home, and that game against Upper Arlington, I'm sure, prepared him for this. So, curious to see how it ends up.
Finley, 0-1 at Lima Senior. This is kind of a big game for Finley to find out where they're at. Finley leads the series in the playoff era 19-12. Finley, though, lost 38-7 last week to Pine Richland from Pennsylvania, and Lima Senior beat Piqua 12-7. Does Finley bounce back against Lima Senior this week, guys?
They're home? Finley's at home?
Finley is on the road. This is at Lima Senior, if that makes a difference in your pick.
I'm going to go with Finley. I'm going to go with the Trojans.
I'm going to go Lima Senior.
Aaron, smart man.
Exactly.
Give me the Lima Senior Spartans.
I got the Spartans in that matchup as well. I think they get the win over Finley.
See, I like this. I respect it. He could have gone along with Rick and just taken the easy way. He's his own man. Good call, Aaron.
We will differ, trust me.
Speaking of Springfield feeling pretty good about themselves after that win over Maumee, they go to Northview, who is still stinging, 40-0 loss for the Wildcats, and Barry Bach's debut as head coach against crosstown rival Southview. I like Springfield to get to 2-0.
Can Springfield continue that high? I mean, it's hard, especially 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. I mean, they're high right now. Can they stay there? Yes, they will.
I'm going to go with Springfield as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is one that a month ago, if we were looking at the schedule, you'd say, Northview can get them. That's one Northview can get. After what Springfield did last week, and I agree, Aaron, I think they will be able to maintain that level, maybe even step it up a notch. But give me the Blue Devils on the road at Northview.
Two teams 0-1, looking to find themselves here early in the season. Brian goes to Bowling Green. I don't know how much we know about either team yet. They both took it on the chin pretty good in week 1.
We don't. This is one, there are several games, and you guys probably saw this looking at the list, there are several games that are just coin tosses. And there's some you look at and you pretty much know who's going to win. This isn't one of them, but I know. You want me to tell you?
Let's see it.
Bowling Green rebounds at home and gets their first win of the season.
Like that pick.
The Bears are fairly young, and they seem like they're close, but you're right. I like that pick at BG too. I just don't think they have what it's going to take. They're trying to rebuild that program, and it's going to take a while, but this is Coach,
Stidham?
no, at Bryan.
Redhead, ain't it?
Redhead.
Oh,
You know, I think he's got his hands full.
yeah.
But
Scott Staten, the new coach there.
Oh, yeah, right.
The second year for Coach Staten, yes.
It's tough to get that turned around in
Right.
a couple, 3 years. So
I think their junior high, we've mentioned, I think their junior high the last 2 years went undefeated. I don't think they lost a game, so they may have some dudes coming in that program.
You look across the board. Last Friday, how many freshmen played?
Tons.
A lot
Quite
of
a few,
freshmen
yeah.
are out there.
Yeah.
You talking across the area or at Bryan?
No, across the area.
Yeah, a lot of young guys.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it used to be back in the day, you had to at least wait till you were a sophomore or junior before you thought about getting any PT on Friday night, but it's not the case anymore.
Part of the numbers battle. You got to throw freshmen out there.
Right?
I think with me, Brian's young, they don't know, they're just gonna go play football and they're gonna win Friday night.
You got Bryan.
I got Brian.
Oh, I got BG.
I've got BG too. That's one though, I would not be shocked if we get home Friday night and you see the Bears
Yeah.
got it done. Because Scott Staten, he's a football guy. And he's going to have those kids focused and prepared. And so that one could be tight.
At Sandusky on Friday night. Fremont Ross 1-0, Sandusky 0-1. This is one of Ohio's oldest rivalries. 120th meeting. Sandusky leads 58-53-8 at Cedar Point Stadium, Strobel Field. A Works Progress Administration project back in the mid-1930s, actually, on now Orlando Pace Drive. You guys have heard of Orlando Pace, I'm sure.
I met him 2 weeks ago.
Did you really?
He was at the hardware show in Chicago.
Okay.
My picture taken with him, and he autographed and so on. So I'm going with Sandusky.
Okay, okay.
You know what? I think I'm going with Sandusky myself.
Okay. First game of this series was played in 1895. Do you know the two other rivalries in Ohio that are older that started before this one? There's only two.
McKinley-Massillon?
Yep.
Is that in there?
That is one. That is one. Started in 1894. The other one, a little tougher. You guys have a guess?
What part of the state, roughly?
Well, the one team has a really good quarterback that may be up for Mr. Ohio. That's all I'm going to give you. I believe we ate in the other town a year ago.
Shelby in Ontario.
You got one right.
Shelby.
And where'd we eat at on the way back from the state championship?
Yes, I know. We ate it like a Ralphie's. We sat back there and the Indian Valley South game was on the TV. Gosh darn it.
Galleon,
yes.
Shelby and Galleon also started in 1894.
Wow. Yeah, those were good clues.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
And another little tidbit, you know how Fremont Ross became the Little Giants? There was a newspaper article, and in the article, I think the other coach said they played like Little Giants back in 1925.
And it stuck.
And it stuck. That's how they became the Little Giants. Some history there. Rob Lytle, Charles Woodson.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. I was fortunate to coach several games at Strobel Field in Sandusky.
Absolute amazing place.
Big concrete walls, the WPA cement homestands, a real imposing stadium, and tons of tradition there at Sandusky. But that isn't going to matter Friday night because Chad Long's going to go in there and take care of business. Fremont Ross moves to 2-0.
I agree. I got the Little Giants in that matchup as well. I think they're hungry this season. They're out to show what they're made of.
I think so too.
Little Giants.
And they've got that, so they've got Sandusky, and then they've got Perrysburg and Whitmer on the horizon, does Fremont Ross.
Do they have the ability to challenge those teams this season, Coach Long?
Yes.
They're uber talented, are the Little Giants.
Yes, they are. I think if they can get out of this 4-game stretch 3-1, look out. That would mean knocking off a Peaburg or a Whitmer.
Now that we've got through 1 week, who is your NLL Cardinal Division leader?
Probably Fremont Ross.
You like Fremont Ross?
I do. Now, if Clay were still in the Cardinal,
Yeah. Agreed.
I'd be leaning Clay Eagles.
Agreed.
I was impressed with them.
Let's take another break here from the Sports Place at Wassey on Ace and also the Gherkin Companies. The fall sports season is here, and the Sports Place at Wassey on Ace has you covered. Stop in for all your football, volleyball, soccer, and golf practice gear and accessories. Did you know that the Sports Place at Wassey on Ace can create custom t-shirts while you wait? We can and we will. Come in with an idea and walk out with that perfect t-shirt of your own creation from the Sports Place at Wassey on Ace. We also offer custom embroidery. Whether it's a shirt, jacket, or other item, the Sports Place can fill your embroidery needs. Stop in and see us at 1495 North Shoup Avenue in Wassey.
Hard-working individuals have been the heart of the Gherkin Companies for generations. Together we construct the highways and infrastructure that strengthen our communities. Gherkin is seeking rock-solid performers. We offer generous benefits, continuous training, top-notch equipment, and a culture that rewards effort. Want to be part of something big, steady, and stable with room to grow? Whether you're experienced or just starting your career, we encourage you to apply at gherkincompanies.com/careers.
Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gherkin Companies. Thank you to the Gherkin Companies. Also, our good friend over here, Rick Stidham, at the Sports Place at Wassey on Ace for sponsoring our Gamecast this season, and also a partial sponsor of our podcast, and also Rise and Rewind this season. Rise and Rewind Saturday morning, 9 a.m. We'll recap all of the Week 2 action. One of those games that we'll look at is Southview, 1-0. They are at Clay, looking to bounce back from that loss at Wapak. Clay won a year ago, 41-14.
I don't know what Southview is yet, and maybe we don't know what Clay is yet, but I feel like we have a pretty good gauge. I mean, they slugged it out with Clay.
With Wapak.
Or Clay slugged it out with Wapak, absolutely. That game could have been 7-7 at the half. It wasn't. And then Wapak really turned things on in the third quarter. But I saw enough out of Clay to know that they are going to be a problem this year. And they're going to be a problem even in the Buckeye division, the big school division. They've got enough size. They've got one of the top young quarterbacks in this part of the state, maybe the whole state, as far as his relative to his age. And I think Southview's walking into a hornet's nest. I like the Clay Eagles.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know, like you said, what Southview is. Find out a lot more this week. And, I thought with that senior class that Clay graduated, Heinchel and Byers and those guys, Troy Hazuda, that there would be maybe a big drop-off. But no. I mean, maybe a small drop-off, but not much from that team they had a year ago.
No, they've got a couple of the better sophomores, Clay does, that you're going to see this year with Bestgrove,
Eckleberry,
and Dewar, number 6. Ran the heck out of the jet sweep. And they've got a couple other ones, but those 3 really stand out.
Yeah, I like Clay just because I know what we're going to get from them. And I think they'll be ready to go, and Coach Pennington and that staff will have them ready to play and bounce back to get to the 500 mark.
Yeah, man, Clay's a big school. I mean, they're going to, I think, that reload, everybody says reload. Obviously lost a lot year before, but I think they got enough kids at school, enough athletes. I'm going to go with Clay.
I'm going to go with Clay as well. Quarterbacks, the Eagles going to rise.
Okay, all right. I like those picks. Here's another matchup. This one is intriguing. Both teams kind of licking their wounds. Maybe it's just a matter of who can get themselves right mentally. Maumee at Napoleon at the Buck. Both teams 0-1. Maumee coming off of a kind of a bad loss, 42-14 to Springfield, and Napoleon had their chances against Defiance to win that one, and they're their 2-point try with under a minute to go. Did not come to fruition. They fall to 0-1, and you've been in those Napoleon locker rooms where you got to bounce back from a loss to Defiance. Can you get those kids' head right this week? Don't know the status of George Eggers. That makes a big difference for the Wildcats when they have their bell cow in the backfield if they have George this week. I don't know where I'm going. I'll let you guys pick first, whoever wants to go first.
I'm going to go with the Wildcats at home. I just think, number one, it's tough to play there. You know, I've missed that rivalry. We talked about it earlier between Wasion and Napoleon. It's just, they have a great crowd, great community support, and I look for the Wildcats to make a statement this week.
I think I'm gonna go with you guys, with Napoleon. I mean, Maumee, they took a licking last week. That's gonna be tough to come back from. I think Napoleon, I mean, they had Defiance on the brink.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Napoleon.
Couple of smart dudes here, Lynn. I too like the Wildcats at home, and I know it's only week 2. You talk about a couple teams with their backs against the wall early. Being 1-1 is a lot different than being 0-2, even though it doesn't seem like it is in terms of the psyche of your team. George Eggers, whether he's healthy or not matters, but Hayden Groll showed his worth Thursday night, the junior running back for Napoleon. You put Groll and Eggers in the same backfield, and you mix in a quarterback, Kelby Parsons, a name you guys I know are familiar with what we saw with his feet Thursday night. That's a 3-headed monster in the backfield. I like Napoleon, but I also know this. Evan Karchner is not okay with what happened last Friday night at Maumee. They're going to be locked in, and it's going to be a battle, but I like Napoleon at home. I agree with you guys.
Yeah, that Grohl's a gritty kid. Mm-hmm. He's a wrestler, too.
He's a wrestler.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Yep.
All 3 of you going Napoleon. All 3 of you.
There's a chance to get one on me, buddy.
Man, I feel like somebody in this group's got to pick Maumee.
There's a chance to get one on me. You got to do it.
I'm going to stick with Maumee, but boy.
Oh, you're sticking with Maumee?
I'm sorry, Napoleon. I'm going to go with Napoleon. Sorry.
I knew it.
You had me thinking there. Got me confused, but I'm going to stick with Napoleon. But boy, I don't know.
I know.
This feels like a toss-up game to me.
Does Maumee, I mean, was that just a wake-up? Yeah, and was it a wake-up call?
Or is Springfield that good?
Or is Springfield that good?
Yeah, I don't actually know yet. I maybe can tell you in a month.
Now, I think we'll learn a lot about Maumee. If Maumee turns around and comes into Buckenmeyer Stadium and wins this game Friday night, that really tells me Springfield's for real. But too early to tell.
Yeah, give me Napoleon. Boy.
Not a boy.
You know you want to pick Maumee.
Well, it's too close of a game for all of us to go one team, I feel like.
I know it is, and here's the thing, Aaron, sometimes he has trouble going against me because he doesn't want to be reeling me back in late in the season.
Well, you also teach Napoleon, so you may have a little insight on George Eggers' status this week.
Well, if he does that, he should have told us. Right?
Well, he's a sneaky fella, Aaron.
I will get the scoop this week. It's too early to tell today, but the picks will already be in, so I have no advantage.
I think if George plays, I think Napoleon's a favorite.
Yeah.
Without him, like you said, though, Hayden Groll, he was pretty darn good last Friday. Or Thursday, I should say.
Yes, he was.
This is an intriguing one. I'm going to keep close eyes on this one. I'm going to stick with Napoleon. I know you guys are giving me chances, and I'm probably going to regret this when it's like 28-7 Maumee at halftime on Friday night. But I don't want to lose a game. I'm going to play it safe.
That's
It's only week 2. Whitmer, they got a tough one this week. Detroit Martin Luther King coming to Whitmer. Justin Keller got win number 1 for Whitmer last week as they rolled over Dublin Kaufman 30-0. This Martin Luther King team, they lost to De La Salle, Cass Tech, Detroit Catholic Central, which beat Central Catholic from Toledo a year ago, and then lost to Zeeland West in the Michigan D3 state final last year. They were 10-4. Jaden Wyndham, a safety, he's headed to Cincinnati to play for Tyson Veit.
Yeah.
Michael Dukes, a running back, he is headed to Rutgers. In the class of 2027, they have a defensive lineman by the name of Jameer Henry. He's ranked 317th nationally. That's coming to Whitmer on Friday night. Big test for the Panthers. Can Justin Keller and his crew knock off a Michigan power?
A lot of big names you just threw at us.
Yes, I did. And Whitmer's got some guys too.
They do. But I can't go Whitmer this week.
Can't?
I can't. I'm going, was it Detroit?
Detroit and Martin Luther
That's what I'm
King.
going with.
I'm going with the Panthers.
You got Whitmer.
I got Whitmer.
Ooh. Can you pull up Ohio Well, they're probably going to have it because it's a Michigan school. And Cal Preps, I think, changed their website this year. We can't do that, but I don't think Fantastic 50 you can get a out-of-state matchup, which
I don't think so, but let's see here.
But I like Martin Luther King in that matchup. I think they just have a little too much power in that game.
I'm leaning with Rick, man. Whitmer at home. You know what? You may get a game on me, but you may not. I'm going with Whitmer, man.
You were going with Whitmer?
I have trouble picking against our local big schools. I like Whitmer at home. I know it's not a home field like it would be at Ohio State or Michigan, but Whitmer finds a way to get it done. I'm going with Whitmer.
Okay. Hey.
It's got dissension.
We do. Yeah.
We need that.
We do need that. Antwerp at Eden, another matchup of 0-1 teams. Battle of Route 49. Boy.
You talk about a tough one to pick.
Yeah.
I stared at this for about 10 minutes.
Both relatively young, a lot of inexperience on both sides in this one.
Yeah.
Antwerp played a little bit closer game against Montpelier, while Eden, not so fortunate against Edgerton.
No, and
Is Edgerton for real?
they're physical.
Yeah.
They're tough. They're gritty. Didn't have a great scrimmage against Patrick Henry. It's a scrimmage, but
And it's also Patrick Henry.
and it's also Patrick Henry. So Edgerton's physical. They're tough. I'm going to go. It's always hard for me to pick against our good friend Jason Hale at Antwerp. Okay, but
What about Bomber Ball? Is Bomber Ball back?
No. They might win this 52-50, but I'm going to go with Eden because of their offense and they're at home. That's it. Otherwise, it's razor thin, but the Bomber offense gets it going, and this might be 49-48. But I'm going with Eden.
So you're saying it's going to be a defensive struggle then?
Yeah.
No, I'm going with Antwerp. I saw a little bit of Eden. I didn't like what I saw. I'm going Antwerp.
There you go.
Archers.
I'm going with the Bombers.
I got Eden too.
Yeah.
I think a little more experience for the Bombers in this matchup.
I'm a big Kendall Briggle fan. He's one of my favorite receivers. We saw him against Wakeford last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Kendall Briggle's really good.
Yes.
I mean, he could play receiver for anybody. And I'm just kind of a fan of his, and we'll see, but wouldn't be a bit surprised if Antwerp goes over there and gets it done.
Airsville's got another NWL power this week in Patrick Henry. Last week they went to Doe. This week they make the short trip over to Handler to play the Patriots. Airsville 0-1. Patrick Henry rolled over Hicksville. That game was over in about the first 5-6 minutes last week over in Hicksville. Patriots looking good. Airsville just too young to climb the mountaintop against this Patrick Henry team for me.
You're going Patrick Henry then?
PH.
Same. I think Patrick Henry's that juggernaut's going to continue this week. They might put another 50 up.
They could.
Patrick Henry.
Patriots, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. What Coach Mickey and the Pilots, and he knows this, what they're going to have to do is go down to Hamler, and they better control the football. They better bleed that clock a little bit and make some first downs, keep the ball away from Patrick Henry. But, again, I like to...
It's a tough crew to do it against in that line that PH has.
I know. It sure is. That's their strength, in the trenches. So I like the Patriots to move to 2-0.
PH all the way around. Edgerton, they are going to Hilltop. Edgerton has won the last 12 meetings against the Cadets. Does that change? You like what you saw at Edgerton, Harry?
They get 13.
Okay.
Stole my line. I was going to say the same.
I was going to say I forgot now. I lost my train of thought. But I'm going to go with Edgerton.
Yeah. No doubt in my mind, Coach Flagel's not going to allow his squad to have a letdown after a nice opener. They're going to go on the road and take care of business.
I like Edgerton as well in that matchup. Tenora 0-1 coming off that loss to Liberty Center. They have to go to the Castle and Otsego, who is 1-0. Tenora leads the series in the playoff era 8-7. Otsego won a year ago 14-9. Tenora won 27-19 in 2023. This game historically has been pretty tight. Which way are you guys going to go in this matchup?
The show Tenora had last week, no good for me. I don't think.
Now, that was against Liberty Center, Aaron.
I get it. They didn't even fight. That's the first time a Tenora team that hasn't come out punched a couple times. And they didn't even punch one time.
They got punched in the mouth on the first play of the game.
What was it, 60
last
yard
week?
was it?
60-yard
I think that sounds right, yeah.
So, no chance.
Yeah, I'm going against Tenora. No way.
Got Otsego.
Otsego, the Knights.
This game's at Otsego, right?
It is, yep.
I'm telling you, Craig Rutherford, he's like a mad scientist. He's like Dirk Connor down there at Perrysburg. You never quite know what he's thinking, and he's normally the smartest guy in the room, and I think he's going to be the smartest guy on the field Friday night. I like Otsego to get it done. It'll be close, but I like Otsego to win one. Could be
Defensive or high scoring? Like a year ago, 14-9 era?
21-20 is what I was going to say. 22-21. Maybe the Knights go for two at the end to win it. I think this is a pick 'em.
Well, if it's that close,
It's
why
that
are we all
close.
picking the one team?
Because they're home.
Give me the Rambos.
Ooh,
Give me Tenora.
dissension in the ranks. I like it.
Wow.
Get down, Tenora.
Now, is Otsego going to be able to run the football consistently on Tenora?
Oh, Liberty went to the air. Did they have to, or were they working on some things?
Yeah, right. That's the question.
Liberty didn't run for 200 yards in that game against Tenora last week, and that's kind of usually the barometer for how Liberty's doing.
Going with the Rambos, huh?
Well, I didn't know which way I was going. I was going to kind of wait and let you guys lead me into it, and I figure I can pick up a game here. It's too close of a game for all of us to pick the same team.
That one could come down to a turnover, a big special teams play, something like that. That one's going to be close. When we get that score update at the end of three quarters, it's going to be within a
But like
score.
you said, Craig Rutherford, man, he's a mad scientist.
I know he is.
He's going to be working all week to draw up some stuff to...
He's in the lab right now like Gargamel on the Smurfs. Remember he's got some potion brewing?
Yeah.
That's what Rutherford's doing.
I agree. Here's another really good game. Delta at Fairview, contrasting styles. Delta wing T, they want to run it. Fairview wants to throw it around. Will Zedike and company, this will be a good one.
Apaches, not even close.
You saw Fairview last week.
That Zedike kid can sling it, and he's like a cat back there. He can
He's
move.
good, yeah.
Okay.
We had him in the backfield a couple times last week and just couldn't drag him down. You know, guys are trying to, you can't arm tackle that kid.
Can Fairview slow down Delta's running game?
No. That's where I'm at.
Delta won a year ago, 31-28.
That's going to be the challenge because we've struggled running the football.
31-28 2 years ago. Last year was 35-28, yeah.
We had 170-some yards on Fairview Friday night. Total. So can they stop Mr. Nago from Delta? They got their hands
He was a
full.
little dinged up, didn't play last week.
He's out. I don't think he's going to play this week.
Okay, there's some inside knowledge there.
But I do think with Taylor,
Yeah.
fantastic showing last week.
Yep.
Vincent Martinez, I think the Panthers get it done.
Of all the games on our slate, this is the one I went back and forth. I had all my games highlighted.
I agree.
I had them all highlighted until the end of the day before I left. I hadn't highlighted that one yet. I can argue reasons why each team will win the game. And I'm going to go with Fairview. And it's hard for me to do because Delta, I know Zedike can sling it in that, but he can if they don't have the ball. If Delta's getting 2.5, 3.5 yards a pop, and now all of a sudden Fairview's getting one, maybe two possessions in a quarter. I can't believe I'm doing this, going against Mike Vickers, but they're on the road, going to Fairview. Give me Coach Rakes and the Fairview Apaches.
Fairview, Delta, Fairview. Give me Mike Vickers and the Panthers in that wing tee.
I went back and forth. Now I'm going to be thinking about it all week.
You know what you take on the bus with you? The running game.
And defense, yes.
Okay.
But now they've got to control the ball, and if they do, everything I said earlier. But I think Fairview's ability to throw the football, I don't know that Delta's equipped on the back end. But if they don't have it, they can't throw it.
Well, last week, towards the end of the game, the Washington game was a pretty decent game. Coach Rakes will get them dialed in because there was so much laundry being thrown out there for holding.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
And he'll get it dialed in. And they did come out in the second or third quarter and made a statement on the first drive. Because we helped, the beginning of the game, they scored on the first drive. They had 5 more series, and Washington stopped them. They may get a first down here and there, but that run, it's going to be a good battle. I think it'll be a good battle. But they can score so fast.
Yeah.
The receivers got open. Zedek missed a couple of
Touchdowns, really.
wide open touchdowns.
Yeah.
He'll get dialed back in, and he'll be the guy he was last year. What did he throw for 3,500 yards last year? That's phenomenal.
Yeah. That's going to be a good one. I like the Delta pick, though. I do. Wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Yeah, don't know which way that one will go. That one's coin toss.
Yes,
probably.
it is.
Yeah. Wayne Trace, they go to Spencerville. Both teams started the season 0-1. Wayne Trace trying to get that program going a little bit is Matt Holden. Can they get win number 1 against Spencerville and the Bearcats this week?
I don't know much about Spencerville, but I'm going to go with the Raiders.
You took it away from me, Shorty. I was going to do the same thing. Yeah, I'm going with Wayne Trace on this one.
Razor thin, 2 programs that I think are kind of trying to find their identity. Both may struggle a little bit this year, but it's a long trip heading down to Spencerville. And I think the Raiders are going to have a little jet lag. I like the Bearcats at home.
Good
Give me
pick,
Spencerville.
Good pick. I like the Bearcats as well in that matchup. Paulding 1-0, going to North Central. Paulding won this game 58-0 a year ago. I don't see much changing this season. Give me Paulding and that explosive offense. Colt Hunt and the Mans boys, Blake Roanhouse, Avery Cooper in the backfield. Paulding will name their score.
No doubt about it. I have nothing to add to that. Give me the Paulding Panthers. They're pretty good this year. They're going to championship.
Same, Paulding.
Yep,
Yeah. Paulding. I'd like to see them against some better competition down the road to see exactly where they're at. They had some chances in the bigger Green Meadows Conference games a year ago and just couldn't quite get over the hump. Let's see if Paulding can do it this season. Here's a matchup that maybe both teams are looking at, a game that maybe they have to have. Hicksville at Swanton, both 0-1. Hicksville won 22-6 last year, 28-6 in 2023. Swanton has lost 28 straight. The only longer losing streak in Ohio is Oberlin's 31. Can Coach McAfee and the Bulldogs finally end that streak? Or does Hicksville pick up a win here?
Well, I'll wait. I know who I'm going with. I have them all highlighted. I actually had to check Drew Pastor. I wanted to see what he had because
What's the line?
I haven't looked at this. I'm not even going to say what the line is till after everybody makes their pick. But I have mine highlighted.
Swanton at home?
Swanton is at home.
I'm going to go with the NWAL on this one. I'm going to go with
They end their 28-game losing skid.
Not so fast. I've seen Swanton the last 3, 4, 5 years. It's just been like this. I'm going to go with Hicksville.
I got Hicksville too.
Yeah, and normally when a game is this close on paper, I lean towards the home team, you know what I mean? Not in this one. Give me Hicksville, and Looking at the pick here by Drew Pester, Hicksville by 11, 71%.
Okay. But still relatively
Yeah,
tight.
it's not 28. Yeah, so Swanton needs, whether they win or not, they need to compete. You know, if Hicksville rolls in there and this thing ends up 35-7, you know, that doesn't bode well. So will it be close? Will Swanton compete? We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be big for them, but yeah, I like the Aces to get the win in that one. Let's take a break. We're going to come back and talk about Eastwood and Liberty Center with a tailgate happening here at American Freedom Energy on Friday night. American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store off Route 24 on State Route 109, just south of Liberty Center, now has 88 unleaded fuel and is your one-stop shop for fuel, food, drinks, and much, much more, including locally raised meats and home-baked goods. American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store is proud to support Black Swamp Football and is the host of the Black Swamp Football podcast, football show, and Saturday mornings Rise and Rewind. Stop in and see Glenn and Greg today and make American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store a part of your everyday routine.
Hard-working individuals have been the heart of the Gherkin companies for generations. Together we construct the highways and infrastructure that strengthen our communities. Gherkin is seeking rock-solid performers. We offer generous benefits, continuous training, top-notch equipment, and a culture that rewards effort. Want to be part of something big, steady, and stable with room to grow? Whether you're experienced or just starting your career, we encourage you to apply at gherkincompanies.com/careers.
Thank you to the American Freedom Energy Grandma's General Store here in Liberty Center, and also the Gherkin Companies again for their support. Join American Freedom Energy Grandma's General Store south side of Liberty Center on S430 State Route 109 on Friday night. First tailgate of the season. The Toledo Chuck Wagon will be here. If you like smash burgers, they have some of the best smash burgers around. And then my wife, I know she's coming over because they have great grilled cheese, I've heard. She never misses it when the Toledo Chuck Wagon is here.
There's nothing better than a good grilled cheese. Slab of onion on that, dude.
Oh, some onion on there.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, you do it up big. It's just not regular grilled cheese, right?
We're going to go big.
Okay. You a grilled cheese fan?
Oh, yeah.
You do like grilled cheese.
Just-
I'm a little surprised, but you don't put cheese on your burger.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, you do put
It's the only thing I put on my
But no
burger.
tomato or lettuce or
God,
mayo or
no.
ketchup?
God, no, don't even, no. Cheese only. Grilled cheese, cheese only.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you like on your burger,
Put
Aaron?
a smash mouth burger in grilled cheese with lettuce, tomato, ketchup, mustard, and a jalapeno.
Jalapeno, I like that.
Aaron, how you tasting the meat if you're putting all that on there?
You want the spice.
I love it. I love it.
He knew exactly what he wanted, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
That dick in there just that hard.
that. Eastwood fans, you're more than welcome. The Liberty Center folks will welcome you with open arms here on Friday night. Stop in before, and the party will overflow afterwards into the game, too. They do a great job and a great tailgate. If you are coming from Eastwood and you come down 6 and you come across the 109 bridge, you're going to have to do a little bit of a detour over to, what is that, County Road 10, Coach Strock?
Yeah.
10 to S, right?
Yep.
That'll get you around it if you come in on 6, if you're coming from Eastwood, or you can just hop on 24 and, Perrysburg or the Waterville area, and that would be easier probably for you with the bridge out just south of town.
Yeah, they'll definitely be welcome here. I guarantee you the Tiger fans will be here in full force.
They'll probably be here about 3 o'clock on Friday. I don't know what time you may be right. The coffee club may never leave. Usually the Chuck Wagon starts around 4. Glenn's not here right now, so don't quote me on that, but usually around 4 they get the tailgate started. Beverages, snacks, whatever you need, they'll have it here, and you can stop in afterwards as well.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to this matchup. Eastwood at Liberty Center, Rex Lindgren Stadium, Kip Curran Field. First meeting, Eastwood taking the spot of Napoleon on the schedule for the Tigers. Eastwood battling some injuries. They're not going to be at 100% for this one on Friday night, but can they come into Liberty Center and give them a game or even win this game?
No. The Tigers are...
That's your pick then.
Liberty Center.
I'm going with the Tigers all the way. This isn't going to be close. It's going to be ugly.
You think LC rolls?
LC rolls.
Okay.
Obviously, we've done the Buck here at Liberty Center. The hospitality is like no other. If you're a football fan in the area, you got to come to Liberty Center and watch a football game. Go to the Tigers.
Convincing, though. You think Liberty rolls, huh, Rick?
Absolutely.
Okay. It's hard to argue with that, given their history, that's for sure. But if Eastwood can limit Liberty Center's rushing on first down, make them throw it a little bit, Eastwood has the type of athlete that can jump a route, make a big play, maybe get behind the Tigers secondary. But what bothers me, Lynn, like you said, they've got the injury bugaboo a little bit.
They're not playing with a full deck this week.
No. But they're strong, athletic kids. They have a great strength conditioning program there. They're very well coached. I think they come in here and compete.
Yeah. Sam Cotterman's team's not just going to come in here and lay down.
Nope.
They're going to come in here ready for a fight.
Yeah, and can they maybe stick one in early and put a little pressure on Liberty Center? I'm not saying they will, but can they?
Coach, the 200 yards passing last week for the Tigers, I mean, is that because Tenora, the Liberty Center coaches saw something from Tenora, that, you know what, they're going to pass to give Eastwood something else to see?
Possibly.
Or they're going to be, you know what, we're still going to run the football.
Yeah.
They've been working on some things because they threw a lot in the Perkins scrimmage too,
Yes,
the
they
Liberty
did.
Center.
Yes, they
They're trying to
did.
work some things.
260-plus yards passing last week.
They did.
When's the last time Liberty Center's done that?
It's been a minute, I'll tell you that.
That's not too
Good
often.
smash mouth football. And
When you're averaging 6.7 yards a carry,
Yeah.
you don't have to pass the football.
Yeah.
That's 6 points, it's probably more than that, but.
Yeah.
I mean,
They just, their front five impose their will on that defensive line. You know where they're going. They're going to come across and that lead back, and then you got an opening, and that running back's just going to run it down your throat.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Eastwood's got a ton of tradition there. I don't know if they have enough firepower. Liberty Center's the pick, but Eastwood will not be in awe. Let me say that.
Yeah.
They will not be
Not
in
like a
awe.
lot of teams that come in here.
Correct. That are down 21-0 when they get off the bus. Eastwood in that.
Right. They'll be prepared. Not sure if they have enough though for this Liberty team. Just quite yet. If they had a full deck, I think this game would be a little bit, at least closer, a little bit tighter margin.
Still have Liberty Center if Eastwood was at a full.
Yeah, but I like Liberty Center at home. They'll be ready to roll.
First home game, statement game for their
Yeah,
fans.
for sure. Yeah,
That's
the community will be out here in full force. Game you guys are calling on the Buck on Friday night over to Bellevue. Wasion trying to bounce back from that loss to Fairview, playing at Bellevue. Not going to make you guys pick this one. Tory and I will, though. Give us a little insight on Wasion and what you've seen out of them this season so far,
The
guys.
surprise, and I kind of like the run game, that offensive line, I think for the first time since we've done the Buck, that offensive line moved the line of scrimmage. I mean, to me, it was like, okay, maybe there's something there. Maybe they finally got their front 4 or 5. You know, you put in Rodriguez, kind of tight end / wing back, another big-bodied kid. Surprised me. I mean, they could run the football. I think they ran out of gas a little bit.
Okay.
But I like the way they changed the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I agree with Shorty on that one there. I mean, the bookends, Burkholder and Vasquez are your two tackles. I think the Duncan kid is a guard. They're just gritty, and they're gritty. You know, Shorty, Rodriguez, he's got a heart for football, you know, and it's going to be tough to stop him. Really good improvements up front. We couldn't get that in the past like we've seen this year. They made a statement coming out. I watched the Burkholder kid take a kid downfield and pancake him. It was just, it's nice to see that improvement to help that program to get their running game going.
Oh, you throw in Albright, the running quarterback.
Yeah.
Big kid, 6'3", 195. I mean,
Wrestler, right?
wrestler.
Wrestler.
That's a nice combination to have a quarterback. What time can they listen to you guys pre-game? 94.3 on Friday night.
6:30.
6:30.
Yep.
Okay.
That's good. I'm glad to hear the positives, because Wasion, I think the area and the league's better when Wasion's competing for championships, and they will be again. Bellevue had a big Week 1 victory, okay? It was Clyde.
Yeah.
Okay.
33-23 over Clyde.
Yeah, and there's few communities that are more blue-collar than Clyde and Bellevue, and there's no love lost there between those two, I'll tell you that. And I think going in on paper, Clyde was a favorite last Friday night, and Bellevue got it done, and that tells me Bellevue's pretty good. Wasion's got a long road trip ahead of them. I'd love to see Wasion go get it done, but I'm going to pick Bellevue.
I am too. Yeah, just because of what they did with
Let's go out of here.
We're going home.
And it's at Bellevue. If this one's at Wasion and they had to make the trip over there, I think it's a little tighter.
Yeah. Nice facility there at Bellevue. You guys probably been there.
We've been there a couple years ago.
Yeah, great facility. Yeah, but I'm going to take Bellevue too.
Yeah.
Well, the pressure's kind of on us because these two guys are breathing down our necks.
I think the thing, when you have to take those long bus trips, get them out at noon and get them there before.
Yeah.
That's just, I don't think there's enough time to get your head right after you're on a bus that long.
Yeah.
That's just tough.
Yeah, when we were when I first got to Napoleon, Rick, we were in the GBC, the Greater Buckeye Conference. Sandusky, Fremont Ross, Marion Harding, Findlay. When we would play at Sandusky or at Marion Harding, we would get the kids out at noon. We'd stop, if we're going to Marion, we'd stop in Findlay, feed the kids, and things like that. So what you're saying is not too far off base. I agree with you. It's a trip.
Stay in the NWAL. St. Henry, impressive Week 1 win over Salina. The Redskins and Coach Whirling going to come up to Blue Streak Stadium. Archibald won 34-10 in 2022 over St. Henry, 29-0 in 2023. But last year, St. Henry flipped that, 42-14 Redskins. And I like the Redskins. Again, this is a very good St. Henry team, and they're a program to watch out for in the MAC.
Yeah, there's not many teams where I would pick against Archibald at home. Liberty Center would be one of them, and St. Henry's another one. But
St. Henry's different this year. They're just so different.
Yeah, they're not only are they a MAC school, but they're a upper echelon MAC school. And I would not be one bit surprised, though, when we get a halftime score update. I would not be a bit surprised if Archibald's hanging in there. I really wouldn't. But throughout the course of 48 minutes, I like St. Henry to get it done.
St. Henry, traditional powerhouse down there, small school too, and they title here, another one here. I mean, they play football down there. I'm going St. Henry.
I'm going with St. Henry. Same one reason, the tradition down there, they're on a mission this year. Some really good football players have come out of St. Henry.
Yes.
So, and I think it's going to be a wake-up call for the Blue Streaks. Unfortunately, at home, they're going to get the L.
Yeah, this is a St. Henry team that's kind of bringing that tradition back, I think.
Yeah.
Those 90s and 2000s teams, and Coach Beckman will be on our KK Collision football show here later on the season. Can't wait for that episode. That would be outstanding to visit with the former Hall of Fame St. Henry coach. Also in the NWL, Ottawa Hills 0-1 at Evergreen. As the Vikings, they were rolled over Adolphus Jefferson last week. Ottawa Hills won 40-6 last year and 40-7 over Evergreen in 2023. Ottawa Hills has won the last 4 in this series. Can Evergreen flip that trend this year, guys?
I'm going to say no. I think Evergreen's one of them. I think younger team again, trying to figure out, what they have. I think Ottawa Hills got a little bit too much for Evergreen. I'm going Ottawa Hills.
Now you got me thinking, Shorty. I like the progression that the Viking program's making right now. They're going to be at home. They've got good crowds there. They're going to be fired up.
Great facility.
Yeah. Beautiful facility. Vikings.
I like the Vikings too.
I am going with the Evergreen Vikings in this one. I think it'll be fairly close. It'll be fairly close, but I'm not going to pick against Evergreen in this one.
Okay.
31-27.
31-27. All right. Marion local, 65 straight victories after the win over the Indiana school a week ago, to Crestview this week. And how about this matchup? The Marion local defense against Braxton Lee, 408 yards rushing by himself last week, 7 touchdowns against Parkway. Marion local has held 32 straight foes under 20 points and 57 straight under 30. Flyers favored by 45, according to Drew Pastors. By 45. Do they keep, we talked about this on Saturday morning's Rise Rewind, do they keep this stud Crestview running back under
50 is the number I gave you.
50?
So he had 408?
408 last week against Parkway.
So I asked Lynn Saturday morning, does Marion local hold, and this kid's a stud, okay, this lead kid for Crestview, he's a stud. Had 408 yards a week ago. Does Marion local hold him under 50? That's the question.
Marion local eat, sleeps, and whatever else football. You know, they'll keep them under 65 yards.
Okay, I'm going to make note of that.
Write that down.
Local.
Rick's still studying over there. He's crunching the numbers. I think, did I say they keep him under 50?
You said,
Or did I say?
you said you were going to take the over just because they may put a few subs in and he may get loose.
He may get loose against the second, third, fourth freshman, however many strikes Marion local has.
He may.
That may be the reason why.
He may, but then on the flip side, I'm thinking, if this one's out of hand, is Crestview going to have their bell cow getting banged around late in the game?
That's true too.
You know?
You think they keep him under 50?
I didn't want to have to answer.
You have to.
I actually like Aaron's number. I like 65. That's a good number.
But that wasn't the question. He skipped over the question.
I've been watching those politicians on TV. They answer a question with a question. I'm going to say, and all it takes is him to get loose once to get it, but I'm going to say under 50.
Under 50.
Under 50.
How about we all write down a number and see who was closest? How many yards he has this week?
I like that.
An exact number. I'm going to go 67.
67.
I'm going to be a little more liberal than that.
I'm going to say 44. 408 to 44, that's a drop-off. This kid's good, though.
He's going to get 100.
You think he gets
I
100?
think he gets 100.
Okay.
You got to have an exact number, Rick.
101.
Okay.
101.
I did say under 65, I'm going to go 64.
64 for Aaron. It'll be fun to look at Saturday morning.
Yeah, we'll revisit. Make sure you keep that paper.
I've got it, yep.
So we remember that Saturday morning.
Rick, 101. I have 44. Aaron has 64. Lynn, 67. So Saturday morning on Rise and Rewind, we'll check it out.
How about this question for you? Does Marion local, their margin of victory, is that less or more than Braxton Leaf's rushing total?
Depends if they want it to be. I like that question, actually. You guys go ahead. Lynn was asking you.
Because it could be 65-0. It could be 65-0.
It could.
It could be 60-0. It could be 50-0.
It
Certainly
could.
knows something if that line's 45.
No?
Yeah, somebody knows something, that's for sure. I'm going to say the margin is greater than Leaf's rushing total.
Greater. Okay. All right. Interesting. It's fun to...
You watch him. They start at the 20-yard line. He pops one and has 80 one play into the game.
It'll be the first time Marion local's allowed an 80-yard play in some time.
20 years probably.
Probably, yeah. Jeez, oh, Pete's, yeah. How about Fort Recovery? 1-0 in the West winning era. They go to Allen East. Fort Recovery hammered Ponitz Tech, and Allen East beat Newark Catholic last week.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is one that I stared at for a little bit, but I'm going with the Allen East Mustangs. Love Coach Wenning, one of the fine young coaches I think we have coming up in this area. But Allen East at home, their physicality and grit over the last few years, and they beat I know it's not not J.D. Graham's Newark Catholic, but that's a big win. Fort Recovery was not tested week 1. Give me Allen East.
I'm going to go with Allen East as well.
I like that pick, Ellen East.
I don't like any of those picks. Fort Recovery.
Hey, trust me.
This isn't, they didn't beat Newark Catholic of 1980
I know.
or the Bill Franks era.
I know.
Yeah, but who did Fort Recovery beat?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Aaron's got that right.
I don't even know where that's at.
I'm taking Fort Recovery, boys. I'm going to gain another one on you guys.
Hey.
Give me the Indians.
Hey, you guys should sleep well this week knowing you're riding with this guy.
You got to be careful riding with them.
That's going to be, I think that's an interesting game. I really do. I really do.
Wes Winning has revived that Fort Recovery program.
He did for a week.
Going to go to Allen East and pick up the win.
We'll see.
All right.
Staying in the MAC, Parkway 0-1, the loss to Crestview we just talked about. At Delphus Jefferson, the Jeff Cats, who lost to Evergreen.
Yeah, I'm going with the Parkway Panthers.
Good pick. I like Parkway too.
They scored a bunch last week.
They did. Yes, they did.
They scored a bunch. I like Parkway to get the win at Delphus.
DJ, I'm going to go with Delphus.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Parkway.
Okay.
I'll go with Parkway.
Yeah. Take 3 Parkways, and Rick's going to go with the Jeff Cats. All right. Clinton Massey at Coldwater. This is a good game here. Both teams 1-0. Clinton Massey beat Waynesville last week, and Coldwater survived on the road at Germantown Valley View in overtime. Coldwater won this one a year ago, 31-15, but is Coldwater the same team that they were a year ago? They were pretty heavily favored against Valley View a week ago, but that one was tight.
Is Coldwater full strength?
Think so.
I mean, that's like a football heaven down there for them kids. I know I have a friend that teaches down in Coldwater. I'm gonna go with Coldwater.
I agree. I have to go with Coldwater as well.
It's going to be close, but Coldwater gets the win for me.
Yeah, Clinton Massey, just watching them play over the years and that, man, they're rugged. They are rugged, tough son of a guns down there in Clarksville, I believe it is. Clarksville, Clinton Massey. Picking against Coldwater at home for me is like picking against Toledo Central Catholic at home.
Well, we'll find out if you're going to pick against Toledo Central Catholic. They got a tough one. We'll mention that later in the show, but we're going to go Coldwater all the way around.
Yep.
Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy at Versailles. Versailles beat Milton Union 27-6. CHCA beat Bishop Fenwick 24-7. Versailles, according to Drew Pastore, favored by 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions, 16-point margin.
Well, Versailles is part of that local Coldwater.
Yeah, they are.
Right?
Yep.
They beat each other year in, year out. I'm going Versailles.
Same.
Yep, I'm not picking against Versailles.
I'm not picking against Tiger Ball either. I'll take Versailles. Columbus Afrocentric at Minster this week. Afrocentric beat Cincinnati Woodward 72-0 last week. Now, I don't think Minster is Cincinnati Woodward, and Minster edged Fort Loramie 22-14.
It's going to be a long drive back to the capital city for the Nubians. Minster takes care of business at home.
I agree. Mr. Tigers.
Same.
I'll take Minster as well. New Bremen, they are at Covington this week. New Bremen beat Wayne Trace 41-0. Covington lost 14-13 to Arcanum last week. But I like New Bremen in this matchup.
Give me New Bremen over the Covington Bucks, I think's their name.
I'm going to go with the upset. Covington.
Ooh, Covington.
Switch it up here a little bit.
They're home. Give them the home field
It's not
advantage.
that home field advantage.
Okay, all right. All right, we'll see what happens there. LCC at Delphus St. John's. Boy, did the Blue Jays give up a bunch of points a week ago in their loss to Sidney Lehman. LCC beat Shawnee. I'm going to take Coach Stolley and the Thunderbirds again this week. They got me a win last week. I'm going to ride with them.
Yeah, that was one of my losses last week.
Yeah, it was.
I liked Shawnee at home. Heck of a game.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
Back and forth game, but Coach Stolley, an outstanding debut in an emotional rivalry there on Cable Road. I'm going with the Thunderbirds.
I have to agree with you, Coach. Thunderbirds.
LCC.
Okay, good pick. I'm going to take the Thunderbirds as well. Rounding out the MAC games this week, Anna is going to Fort Loramie. Anna beat Spencerville 55-0. Fort Loramie in that competitive game against Munster, they lost 22-14 in that one.
I think Anna don't let off on the gas. Big this week.
When's the last time Fort Laramie's went 0-2?
Good question.
Friday. 0-2, Friday.
He got me on that because I thought he was going the other way, but I'm going with Anna.
I am too. I like the Rockets.
I'm going with Laramie.
Okay. Man, Rick he's trying to gain an edge here.
No fear.
No, he does not. Going to take a break, come back and talk about our broadcast on Friday night. Liberty Benton at Columbus Grove. The Swanton Welding Company proudly supports our local student athletes and coaches. We're committed to being your local steel fabrication company in Northwest Ohio and building projects across the country. For job opportunities at the Swanton Welding Company, visit www.swantonweld.com or visit them at 407 Zyder Way in Swanton. Thank you to our good friend Norm Zyder at the Swanton Welding Company for his continued support this year and since the inception of Black Swamp Football. Norm has been very good to us and can't thank Norm enough. Again, tune in Saturday morning to Rise and Rewind, presented by the Swanton Welding Company, 9 a.m. as we recap all of these games that we were talking about on this podcast. Game that Tory have on our Gamecast this week, presented by the Sports Place at Wassee on Ace. Can't thank Rick and his crew enough for their support of our Gamecast this season. Liberty Benton 1-0 at Columbus Grove, who fell to Pandora Gilboa last week. Grove won 42-14 last year, game that we broadcast, and Grove also won 24-14 in 2023. LB won 24-13 in 2022. Grove has not lost two straight since 2019, and that started 0-2 since 2018. Little uncharted territory for Andy Schaefer and Columbus Grove in this matchup. While Liberty Benton, this is kind of the year that they really think they can do some damage. Probably a game that the Eagles think that they have to have. Is the game that Grove has to have after an 0-1 start, and then you know where they're going next week, Coach Strock.
Yes, I do.
Red Stadium
Hamler, yep.
to Patrick Henry. Going to probably be a underdog in that matchup. We're not going to make a pick here since we're broadcasting this, but this is a big game on both sides.
Yeah, I know we're not picking, but I don't have a whole lot of analysis. I think anyone who watched or knows what happened in that game last year knows that Grove went to Liberty Benton and
Liberty Benton scored on the first possession of the night. It was 7-0, and then Grove dominated from there.
Yeah, no question about it. And Scott Garlock is a fantastic head football coach. That didn't sit well with Liberty Benton. It's rare that somebody goes into their stadium and shoves them around in the regular season. And so they've got some revenge on their mind going to Columbus Grove. And there's people that are looking at Grove right now going, man, they got beat on the road at Pandora Gilboa. Liberty Benton's going to spank them. Not so fast. Andy Schaefer is going to have those kids refocused. Their quarterback, Landon Best, I mean, when did he get injured last year, week 3?
Yeah,
the PH game.
Yeah.
So missed the rest of the season. You know, he's getting his feet under him again this year. Grove will be much improved. They're going to learn from last week. Liberty Benton's got firepower, though, man. That's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to calling it, but I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, pregame starts at 6:30 from Clymer Stadium on Friday night. We are going to make you two guys pick this one, though.
I'm going to go with Columbus Grove on a bounce-back game in a bottom burner.
Exactly. They're at home. They're going to make it exciting for their fans. I got Grove in this one as well.
Okay.
That's a good football team.
It is.
Tough
They're well
kids.
coached.
They're
Tough
gritty.
kids.
They're
Yeah.
real gritty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Here's a good matchup. Pandora Gilboa coming off that win over Grove at Bluffton, who got to the state semifinals. Now, Bluffton won this one 42-0 a year ago. Graduated some big-time seniors. Ben Burkholder, wow, what a debut. I shouldn't say debut. It seems like he's been there forever at PG, but boy, he had a good debut for the 2025 season against Grove last week. Can Pandora Gilboa keep it rolling against a really good Bluffton team?
I'll let you guys pick, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
Thank you for letting me.
They're going to stay high. I think that's a big win for them against Columbus Grove. I think them kids believe. And they get a big win like that, I'm going to stick with them.
Yeah,
Go with the Rockets.
yeah, absolutely.
You want me to release my pick?
Release it.
Jeff Richards in Bluffton, going to ride the pirate ship. Bluffton over PG.
There's no question. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jeff Richards at Bluffton coach with a patch over his eye. It would not surprise me one bit.
Go full pirate, Coach Richards.
That's how he is a pirate, and
You got to live it, right?
you got to live it. And I think Pandora Gilboa was living a charmed life last week, and I can't go against the Pirates at Harmon Field. Give me Bluffton.
Yeah, give me Bluffton too in that matchup. Huron 0-1 is at Elmwood. Elmwood also 0-1. Elmwood has lost 13 straight. How about Huron last week? Lost 52-46 in OT to back-to-back defending NBC champion Oak Harbor. What does that tell us about Huron? They must be pretty good.
Yep.
Scrappy. No defense, but scrappy.
Yeah, well, good point. No defense, but they scored some points. I think Huron wins this one.
Not only do they win, they roll.
They roll?
I mean, they roll. I got stung. I went with the Royals last week. Was it Lakota?
Yeah, I did too.
And I'm still smarting from that one. And so, I took a bunch of heat a few years ago. Elmwood was really good, and they battled Liberty Center in the playoffs, and I just couldn't get on the Elmwood train, and boy, some of the Royal faithful got after me for it. Well, I'll tell you what, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame. I'm off the Royal bandwagon. Give me the Huron Tigers, the red and white Tigers.
I'm with you on that, Coach. You're on.
Good
Yeah,
night.
absolutely.
I don't know about a whooping, but I'm going here.
Yeah, I like Huron in that matchup. Van Buren 1-0 is at Lipsick. They're also 1-0. Lipsick beat Lake 56-35. Van Buren beat Fostoria 37-6. Marquise Williams of Lipsick, did you see his numbers? We recapped those on Saturday morning, but I'll give them to you again. 167 yards, rushing on 14 carries, 4 scores. He also returned 2 kickoffs for TDs. Set a new school record with 6 touchdowns in that matchup. 5 was the previous high, the latest being 2002. He played for you, Coach Strock, when you were at Lipsick. Do you know who it was?
I only do because I cheated when you told me I had to look it up.
I was trying to let the audience think you were an expert and you remembered this from 23 years ago.
That's a long time, but when you said the year 2002, I perked up a little bit. I said, wait a minute. I was coaching in 2002. I had a couple of really good running backs early in my years at Lipsick. Joel McDaniel, who was a stud that went on to have a great career at Findlay, and then Jay Beckman. Jay Beckman was a burner. He was like a 10-9, 100-meter guy, 10-8, 10-9, 100-meter guy, and we would just run the old quick pitch to him, and I would just tell him, race him to the sideline, because he was so fast. He was normally the fastest guy on the field. Race him. I don't care if they have an angle. You race him. And he had a couple big nights doing that. I don't remember who he played the night he had 5. He had a big night at Arlington one night. They couldn't stop our quick pitch. And I even had him cheat out. I didn't care if they knew it was coming. They didn't have anybody, unless they had somebody standing on the sideline, they weren't going to catch him. And but I don't know where we were that night. He had 5, but he was fast.
Okay. 10-9, that's the Rick Stidham speed, right?
That's shorty speed.
Okay.
Just ask him.
4-4-1 in high school.
4-4-1.
A long time ago. That's unofficial. That's my time.
That's good.
That's still pretty darn good.
No, I'm going Lipstick. I think, great athlete. I mean, big numbers last week. The numbers are going to continue this week. Lipstick.
Lipstick.
I got the Vikings too.
I've got the Vikings too, and I thought about dubbing this one. I thought about dubbing this my lead pipe lock of the week. Who was my lock last week? Ponitz Tech.
And Fort Recovery.
Fort Recovery, yeah. If Van Buren, I'm not going to make it my lead pipe lock, but if Van Buren goes into Lipsick and wins that game, I'll be shocked. Lipsick gets it done.
You still have your lead pipe lock coming up, or have we
Actually, I forgot I called it that until just now. So, lead pipe lock is PH at home against Ayersville.
Okay, all right.
Lead pipe lock.
Gotcha. Lake at Northwood. Lake 0-1, that lost to Lipsick, and Northwood knocked off Rossford last week, 44-36. Coach Bishop and Lake able to get on the board this week, or do they fall to 0-2?
I'm going to change my lead pipe lock because PH, I think, on paper is a heavy favorite. So it's not anything earth-shattering. People going, oh, duh, yeah. I'm going to give you my lead pipe lock that some might think's a little risky. Napoleon at home against Maumee.
Napoleon over Maumee.
Lead pipe lock, book it. Put your paycheck on it, boys.
Oh.
Lead pipe lock.
Wow.
You can go withdraw some money then.
I wouldn't let you down here.
Lake at Northwood. Who you guys like?
I'm gonna go Lake.
Northwood.
I got
Has
Lake.
Lake figured out their identity yet?
I don't know. They ran for a lot of yards. They usually like to throw it around.
I went back and forth 10 times on this game today, and I don't change who I have highlighted, even though it's tempting sometimes. It's hard for me to pick against Ken James, the head coach at Northwood, especially when they're at home. They have tough kids, but I'm going with Lake on the road.
Yeah, I like Lake in that matchup. Lake is at Rossford. Todd Drewsbach, does he get win number 1 for the 2025 season in this one?
Well, he better. He better. I love him. He's one of my best friends in coaching. But they've fallen on some hard times there, man, at Rossford. But they're going to defend their home turf, and they're going to get it done against the Wade Indians.
Fighting Todd Drewsbach get the victory. Give me Rossford at home.
I'm going Rossford at home.
Rossford.
Okay. Genoa is at Bowser. Bill Fisher in the comments. They bounced back from that loss to Archbold a week ago.
Yeah, they had it in their hands and let it get away from them. At the end, Archbold battled back and won. But I'm going with Genoa.
Got the comments.
Yep.
Same.
I'll take the comments too.
Yep, no doubt in my mind. Genoa gets it done.
Toledo Christian got back into the 11-man game a week ago and didn't fare so well in that one. 42-0 on the road at Rootstown to the Eagles fall in that one. Now they have a kind of a perennial small school power in the state. Macomb, maybe not the Macomb of the 80s and 90s and some of the teams that Chris Alge's had here as of late that's been powerhouses. So, but I'm still going to take Macomb in this matchup. I think they get it done over Toledo Christian.
Yeah, that Toledo Christian bouncing back and forth, from 11, that's a lot. Mentally, kids, the coaches, go Macomb.
Yeah, Macomb. The same. That's a tough adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Rick, do you even know where Macomb's at?
Somewhere in Toledo, is it not? In the vicinity? So I'm way off.
No, Macomb's in my pocket, buddy. Macomb's in my pocket.
So never mind.
It's one of my favorite old
Just don't even
tricks.
pay attention.
Yeah.
Everybody that knew that comes into our show, he tries to get them with that joke.
Wow.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. I agree. Give me Macomb and Chris Alge as Toledo Christian kind of tries to find their way here in the 11-man game. They'll get there, but Macomb, it's a tall order to beat a Chris Alge coach team.
But can you keep them there if you don't have success? You know what I mean? Because winning creates more kids coming out, and their numbers are low.
Yeah.
You know, can you keep that enthusiasm for 11-man football when you just go out there and get beat up?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm curious to see. I think they have a lot of enthusiasm in the younger grades coming up
Yeah,
there.
their numbers in the elementary are very good. I do know that.
Yeah, but-
I think they have some talent
If
coming.
it's up to those kids, how you know what, I think I'm gonna go to Central Catholic, or I'm gonna go,
That's the decision.
Whitmer, and
Yeah.
the big power schools in Toledo area. That's what's tough for Toledo Christian, keep them kids in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Those kids are, they can go in a lot of different ways up in that area, no doubt about it. North Baltimore is at Hardin Northern this week. North Baltimore knocked off Bucyrus 36-28. Hardin Northern lost to Arlington, a team that Tory Strock is high on this season, 41-0. You know who coaches Hardin Northern?
Jerry Cooper, I think. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. He's been a few places.
He has.
He's been a few places, but yeah, back when Hardin Northern was winning state titles, Pete Bruno was the head coach. Longtime members of the Blanchard Valley Conference with Liberty Benton and those guys. And Hardin Northern was, them and maybe Arcadia, Vanloo, smallest schools in that league. Hardin Northern was tiny, and they would beat the tar out of the biggest schools in that league. Didn't matter who it was. They were junkyard dogs, buddy. I mean, those kids they'd go hunting after school and then roll in about 15 minutes before kickoff, take their camo off, and go out there and just smack you. And
Do you like coaching against Pete Bruno?
I didn't like coaching against him, but I love that man. You talk about tough. I mean, tough. They would line up and they'd be unbalanced one way or the other. Full house backfield. 90% of the time you knew where the ball was going. There's not a thing you could do about it. He would just pound you into submission. And it's crazy where Pete Bruno had him. And there's times where he'd have his 11 guys on the field, and then there might be 14 kids on the sideline. And you'd say to him, Coach, you going to be able to play the JV game tomorrow? And he'd look at you and say, why wouldn't we? You only have 12 guys.
Right.
You only need 11. All right. And
Tomorrow.
yeah, see you in the morning. Yeah, he was unbelievable. And
Why were their kids so tough?
I just think Hardin County work ethic, blue collar. But they were, you ask any coach, you ask Chris Algie, you ask Scott Garlock at Liberty Benton, you ask Andy Schaefer at Columbus Grove. Hardin Northern, when they were rolling under Pete Bruno, you wanted no part of that.
With only 20-some kids.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. The year they won state, I bet you they were mid-20s, maybe 27, 28. I'd be shocked if they had 30.
Just for my enjoyment, how would you compare them to the physicality of the Liberty Centers?
When Pete Bruno had it rolling, they were just like Liberty.
Really?
Yes, they were. They had a running back named Drew Snow, and unstoppable. And they had a couple linemen. They had some BAME boys, Pete Bruno's sons, Clay Bruno and Corey Bruno, were quarterbacks for him, and they were just tougher than heck. And I think they played out of fear because Coach Bruno was a tough guy. And but those Hardin Northern teams, I watched them beat Marion Local in the playoffs, I believe, at Wapakoneta, and Hardin Northern fans got the BVC chant going afterwards, That's how good they were. They beat Marion Local.
Were you scared of Pete Bruno?
He'd admit in this, yes. Yes, because he'd stare at you. And he didn't say much. And you didn't know what was going on in that head of his. And I used to think, I can outsmart this guy. Oh, no. He had about 4 or 5 plays, and couldn't stop it.
You just couldn't stop it.
Couldn't stop it.
Did they have big kids?
They had big kids up front, a few big kids up front. They also had a couple guards like Liberty's had a lot of years that are like, 5'8", 5'9", 175, and just meaner than rattlesnakes. But they always would have a tackle or two that were just big, mean son of a guns. And any time you went to play at Hardin Northern, it was about 47, misting, windy, overcast.
Great football weather, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it never shined, not when we were down there. And, but God, I just have so much respect for Hard Northern and that tradition, man. It was sad when they left the BVC, but things change, you know, with leagues and that, but yeah, they were an absolute, you could write a book about what Pete Bruno did there. 'Cause it hadn't been done before, and it hasn't been done since.
Could have he done that anywhere?
Yes, yes, but it would need to be a community like Dola, Dunkirk, those small towns down there. Liberty Center, he could do it his way. The MAC schools, he could do it his way. There's a lot of schools that he couldn't.
He probably didn't have any parents that complained, did he?
I'm telling you right now, because the majority, not all, but a lot of those parents played for him, because he was there a long time. And so, you know, they told their son, if he'd come home whining, they'd say, suck it up, buddy. And it was a bygone era, man.
How about this Hard Northern team today? How do they fare against North Baltimore on Friday?
You know what? I have trouble getting the history out of my head, but I'm going with North Baltimore. I'm going with North Baltimore to go on the road and get it done in Dola, Ohio, North Baltimore. I was impressed with those kids at our kickoff show.
Yeah.
I was impressed with them. And I don't know if they have the staying power, but I like them. I'm going to go with them until they lose.
Given that story you just gave us about Coach Bruno, he's not on the sideline over there.
That's true.
I'm going North Baltimore.
That's true.
I'm going to go Alpo.
Really?
Yeah, I am. They're at home. There's still football tradition there. You know, and those kids are going to battle. First home game, they're going to come out kicking and screaming. So I'm going to go with Hard Northern.
All right.
I'm going to go North Baltimore. I'm going to stick with what I thought I was going to pick. I'm going to stick with it. Scared me a little bit there, though. Rick got me thinking.
Yeah.
Drumming up some of that tradition. You never know what could happen. Woodmore 1-0 is at Montpelier this week. Montpelier won 9-7 in 2023. A year ago, Woodmore won 44-14. Looks like Woodmore may have found some of the...
Old glory.
Well, yeah.
I think so, too.
They're starting to play pretty well. They had some down years, but the Woodmore Wildcats going to roll into Montpelier this week.
How did the Locals do last week? I mean, who'd they play?
They played Antwerp. 24-16.
It's close, yeah.
Tight game.
Mumser?
Locals.
You got Montpelier.
Yep, you go with Montpelier.
It's hard for me to pick against Montpelier at home, especially with this group of kids. They've been through a lot. They've helped kind of revitalize this program. Love what Coach Andy Robinson's doing. But Woodmore's shown me a little something the last couple years. Things are looking up there. And I'm going with Woodmore on the road. I'm not saying I'm rooting for Woodmore, but that's my pick.
I got Woodmore too.
Do you?
Yeah. I think they've found something. They're a little different program than they have been, and I think they go to Montpelier and pick up the win. Western Buckeye League action starts this week. It's week number 2, and you're playing league games. Going to start with Defiance at OG. OG was blanked by Liberty Benton, and Defiance obviously the close win over Napoleon in week number 1. Defiance has won the last 3 in this series. Did they get another one on the road at OG on Friday night?
Defiance.
I'm going OG at home. Titans.
This is a tough pick. There's 2 WBL games that I think are super tough picks. Defiance OG, Bath, St. Mary's. Big Steve Rittenauer fan at Defiance. Big emotional win Thursday, but I'm with Rick. Ken Schreiner is going to have the OG Titans locked in. They're going to catch Defiance celebrating that River Rock, and OG doesn't care about the River Rock. OG wins a close one at home.
No. Defiance. Chase Camaso, Kelton Gibbs.
I agree.
Goose Hinojosa.
Yeah. Tough kids.
Yeah.
Tough kids.
The Mohawk reigns again.
I like them. I'm gonna, I was, Coach Ritt's gonna be upset with me, but he understands.
You're not going to be welcome at practice anymore. He's been trying to get you out there.
Yeah, I know.
You're not getting an invite anymore after this week.
But what if I'm right?
Oh, I don't know.
If I'm right, he's got to invite me,
Find out.
because maybe I could have helped him.
Another WBL game this week. Van Wert 1-0 beat Bryan and Elida 1-0. They knocked off Rogers. I think this game was going to be a little tougher on both sides, but give me the Van Wert Cougars this week.
I've seen Van Wert last 2 or 3 years in the playoffs against Wasion. You always got good kids out there. I'm going Van Wert.
Same, Van Wert.
Wish I could go against you and pick up another game, but I can't. You guys are right on the money. This Van Wert team's pretty good. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They'll give, got a long way to go, but they'll give Wapakoneta a ball game when those two meet.
Speaking of Wapak, hosting Salina, who lost to St. Henry. We had the Wapak Clay game. I don't see Salina having much of a chance against the Redskins this week. Give me Wapak, and you can give me Wapak the rest of the way.
Yeah, I know.
Rest of the way.
I know.
Just mark me down for Wapak unless something crazy happens.
I'm with you. I agree.
Same. Walpock's got this one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They I don't even want to say shook off the rust Friday night, because a lot of that had to do with Clay. Clay hung in there, but they are going to be clicking on all cylinders from the opening snap this week. It's not going to take them a half to wake up.
All right, Coach, here's your other tough one for the week in the Western Buckeye League. Lima Bath 1-0 at St. Mary's, who fell to Galleon last week. Bath impressive over Indian Lake, 50-21. I think Frank Russell and the Wildcats keep it rolling.
This is one where I may be just handing you a game on a silver platter. Okay, I may just be, but there's certain things I can't get over. Okay? Certain things I can't get over. And that is Lima Bath coming into St. Mary's. I just can't pick Lima Bath. And I heard some people talking this past weekend how Bath's for real. Like they've turned the corner. But I can't pick against St. Mary's at home. And they were pretty lackluster Friday. Galleon shoved them around.
Yeah, they did.
They couldn't move the ball an inch. And, but I'm going with St. Mary's. And I don't have anything else for you other than St. Mary's doesn't lose at home to Bath until they do. Give me St. Mary's.
Well, they're going to lose to Bath at home this week. I'm going Lima Bath.
I'm going St. Mary's.
Good man,
Yeah.
right?
That's going to be a tough one.
Okay.
Especially after what they went through last week. Their home opener, it's tough to go against a home opener.
Yep.
Finishing out the Western Buckeye League, Lima Shawnee at Kenton. Both teams looking to get in the win column. Shawnee lost to LCC. Kenton lost to Eastwood. I'm going to go with Coach Turner and the Kenton Wildcats.
I thought I was going to get one on you there, Groll.
Sorry, buddy.
I really did.
I'm always a step ahead.
I thought you might lean Shawnee for some reason, but I agree with you. At Kenton, I'm going to go with the Wildcats myself.
Wildcats.
Same here. Okay.
Okay. Can take our final break, come back and talk about St. Francis, Central Catholic, and some Northern 8 action this week.
High school seniors, uncertain that college is right for you? Concerned about the cost of higher education? At the Gherkin Companies, we offer rewarding livelihoods even without a degree. That's a good living straight out of high school with no tuition debt. Starting pay between recent college grads and those with high school diplomas is closer than you might think. So if you enjoy teamwork, working outdoors, and being part of something meaningful, consider your options at gherkincompanies.com/careers.
Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gherkin Companies. Going to round out our Week 2 podcast here with a few more games on the slate. St. Francis de Sales of Toledo going to Bishop Dwenger, who is 0-1. St. Francis beat Waite last week. Going to be tested a little bit more this week against this Bishop Dwenger team who lost 3-0 to Ron Cowley in the Hoosier State a week ago. Does Josh Linke and the Knights get another one?
Yes.
Okay.
I like
them too.
I like St. Francis in this one.
I like St. Francis.
St. Francis.
Okay.
How do they lose 3-0?
So,
The other team don't kick a field goal or take a touchdown.
Captain Obvious.
Which raises a great question, because him and I debate about this all the time. I know my answer is firm, and I'm not giving. But, Coach Strock, what's the most important part of your game?
That's a tough question. I mean, I could answer that a lot of ways. Most important part of my game, I mean, the lines of scrimmage,
Kicking game.
Loves his special teams.
not for me.
I'm with you, man.
Because I've seen a local coach who's a Hall of Famer that spends about 30 seconds a month on special teams, and all he does is win. So that's why. Now, I practice special teams as a coach more than probably most coaches, honestly, because I believe in it. But yeah, I guess I've seen teams win without it. But
When you get in some of those really gritty matches,
oh yeah,
you know,
makes a difference.
you need to flip
Yep.
the field. And that's why, I mean, of course, your kickoff, deep, extra points, point after. You know, last week, the kid from Fairview,
Vandermeer.
solid leg,
Oh, yeah, he's a good kicker.
kicked one PAT, and it went wide right. You know, if you have that game, if you have that kicking game, I don't know, it's always stuck in my head. Coach Fritz was one of the special team coaches when I played at Wasion, and it does make a difference. If you can flip the field, last week we had an opportunity, and I thought, if we flip the field, it makes it that much harder for them.
Yep.
But if you go for it and miss, you're in trouble. You got water up to your chin now.
It's 1985 football.
Yeah.
1885 football.
The kid in the NFL or preseason game kicks a 70. How many games do you win with a kicking game?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
We go back and forth.
It can be a big advantage in the high school game if you have a really good
Absolutely,
kicker and a
if you have a
punter. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to argue against it, but I like the line. I think is the most.
Shoot them out, we're getting 7 yards right here.
Yeah.
Well, now we're gonna get 6.
Well, when you talk about, you know,
Then you don't have to punt, right, Aaron?
you line up and you know where the ball's going to go, you have to stop me.
Right.
I mean, we were fortunate enough, I can remember you ran the same play until they stopped, and then you just flipped and went to the other side. And then you made them do it again. You know, you would,
For sure, yep.
that's old school football, that's Woody Hayes football right there.
Yeah, it is. No doubt about it. Maybe the game of all games in our coverage area this week is Central Catholic versus Detroit Cass Tech. This one is being played at Wayne State University. Cass Tech, defending Division I state champions up in the Wolverine State. Michigan has not started their season, so this will be the opener for Detroit Cass Tech. They have a ton of athletes. C.J. Sadler, four-star athlete, ranked 118th in the nation, going to North Carolina. He's the #1 senior in the entire state of Michigan. Khalif Canty, offensive lineman, he is headed to Missouri. Marcus Jennings, a linebacker, committed to Pitt. B.J. Stovall, a linebacker, he's headed to Toledo. Those guys are all seniors. Donald Tabron, a QB, a sophomore, he's ranked 39th in the nation, 5th best QB in all of the country. Central has not started 0-2 since 2021. They lost to St. Ed's and Benedictine that season. Now, the Irish have some D1 dudes too. Dustin Fries.
the Irish.
Do they avoid an 0-2 start against a really good Cass Tech team?
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of D1 athletes on both teams.
There is.
I'm gonna go with Detroit Cass Tech. Got a little bit too much for Central Catholic.
I like the neutral field, I'm going with the Irish.
You know, it's crazy to me, when Liberty Center played Ironton in the state championship last year, and Ironton stud going to Missouri, is that where he was going?
Yes.
Okay, and, I mean, how much did he impact the game, right? And Cass Tech, you're rattling off this list of schools, the one guy, North Carolina, that means Bill Belichick wants him, you know what I mean?
Number 118 in the entire nation.
That's unbelievable, but,
How about Victor Singleton and
Yeah.
C.J. Sadler going up against each other?
yeah. I just can't go against Central Catholic, same reason I wasn't gonna pick against Whitmer, against, Detroit Martin Luther King. I'm going with Central Catholic, and what could be a game that has the most Division I talent on it all season, on the field.
Yeah, Central Catholic and Detroit Catholic Central
Well,
would
that's
be another one.
Yeah, Give me Coach Dempsey to rebound this week against Cass Tech.
I know one of the games I'm picking this week is the 2000th game I've ever picked in Black Swamp football history. I think it was the 41st game or whatever that we picked this week, whichever one that is. Braden Martin will figure that out for me. But I've never picked against Central Catholic, and I'm not going to now.
Aren't you?
No.
I can't believe you're not.
They're not going to start 0-2, are they?
There's no way.
You rattle off all them studs from Cass Tech and you're...
Well, I can rattle off the same amount from Central Catholic, though, Aaron. Probably more. I think they have 13 D1 kids on their roster this season that have offers. But yeah, I just can't pick against them.
I don't think Coach Dempsey's going to be 0-2.
I don't either.
He isn't going to allow it.
But boy, they're going to test themselves, and what's wrong with testing yourselves early in the season? They're going to be a force in Division III, no matter if they start 0-2 or 0-3. They got Detroit Catholic Central next week on the road. Do the Irish. Doesn't get any easier, but I think Central gets the win. Next week will be, I think, maybe even a little bit tougher, actually, but we'll break that one down next week. Northern 8 action this week. I'm not going to pick, being commissioner of the league again, but Thursday night we have a couple of them. The Michigan schools, Labor Day weekend, like to start on Thursday. Camden Frontier is at Holgate. Adam Byram and the Tigers got win number 1 a week ago over Stryker.
I'm going Highgate.
I knew that was going to come out. I'm going with the Tigers.
Yeah, if I don't win the season-long picks contest this year, it's because of the 8-man teams. I'm just telling you right now. And he knows he can't pick because he's the commish. But he knows, and I'm going with Holgate just because I picked against him last week, which was dumb on my part.
You picked against Holgate last week?
Yeah, I took was it Stryker?
Stryker.
Yeah, I took Stryker, which that's on me. But I've got Holgate at home.
Okay. Also on Thursday, Stryker goes to North Adams Jerome. Both teams 0-1. Stryker won 48-46 a year ago.
When we went to Stryker that day,
North Adams Jerome.
That's what I was going to ask.
3 years ago.
Yeah, and I know that doesn't matter this year, but they were less than impressive on that particular day. North Adams Jerome was. Part of that was Stryker was really good.
Yeah.
They had that Barnum.
Yeah, they had some big dudes that year.
He was a dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Aaron and Rick, they're pretty smart.
Panthers.
Yeah, local team.
Yep, local team.
Stryker.
Let's go Panthers.
That's the only reason, too. I mean, I don't know.
You know what? That's good enough for me. I'm going with them. I like it. I was looking for a reason. I like it. I'm going with Stryker.
Last game that we're going to pick this week, rounding out the Northern area action. Cardinals stretch 0-1, going to Fremont St. Joseph Central Catholic, who is also 0-1 stretch. Got back into the football side of things a week ago, lost to St. Mary Central Catholic from Sandusky 43-0, but good to see Cardinal stretch back out on the gridiron.
Fremont St. Joe, the home of Todd Drewsbach, Rossford's head coach. Give me St. Joe.
St. Joe.
St. Joe.
Okay, that rounds out our picks this week. We'll see how our guests do.
I'll tell you what, there's some toughies.
You just mail a check to us?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, it'll come out of Tory's pay. It'll come out of his pay.
I had fun with these guys.
Yeah, these guys are good.
Yeah, absolutely. What a good opportunity.
Thank you guys for coming over and visiting with us, and have the Wauseon Bellevue game 6:30 on the Buck 94.3. And can you listen online too?
Stream us live, 943thebuck.com.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is great. Looking forward to following you guys. I know you do great work. Don't get a chance to listen to you because we're out there too, but I've heard great things about what you guys do for the Wauseon program, and also what Wauseon Ace and the sports place over at Wauseon Ace.
Yeah, you can stop on by. We're there 7:30 to 8. Sundays 11 to 6. Come by.
Yeah.
We can fulfill your sports needs.
Did these banners, Jason did these banners for us. You have all kinds of golf apparel, golf shoes, golf balls.
Golf shirts.
Golf shirts. I mean, you have everything at that place. Everything but groceries, right? Pretty much, and you can get some snacks.
You can get some Dots pretzels while you're there. And Wallaby's licorice.
Yeah, I think, I'm going to check out the sports place, but I'm going to visit the outdoor, the grill section.
What are you looking for?
Whatever they have. Some wood for my smoker. I don't have a pellet smoker. I have a stick burner. But some apple wood or some hickory. I like hickory. I'm going to look at some of that. Even some utensils. I'm always looking for the latest utensils. And then sometimes I make an impulse buy, and I may walk out of there. You got me. There's a guy on my street that has a big green egg, and anytime it's nice, he's got it out there on a Saturday. And every time I go by, I got to get one of those. Now, those are
I got one you can use, that we use for a demo. You want to try it, I'll let you use it.
I would love to try it, because I have in my mind that this thing would be awesome. But I'd love to try it and see if the proof is there.
I had a gentleman in today that was looking for some accessories for his green egg, 25 years old. It was expensive then. They're crazy now.
Yeah.
But it's a great product. It really is.
It'll last a lifetime.
It's heavier than a dead
I'm doing a brisket on Saturday. Can I use that demo?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Opening day of college football. You know what I may do? When we get back from Columbus Grove on Friday night and I get done with our write-ups for Rise and Rewind in there and just let them on there all night. Because I know people that do. They'll just leave them on there all night.
Saturday night, I threw one on at 10:30. I took it off at 10 o'clock Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's phenomenal.
That sounds like it.
But I'm gonna need a truck or something though for you guys to get it to my house. It weighs 1,000 pounds.
They're heavy.
But Blackstone, anyway?
I do.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have Blackstone.
I do.
If you're gonna grill, Blackstone.
Blackstone, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a Blackstone. Weber, I've got a Weber gas.
We've got Weber, Traeger, Blackstone, Big Green Egg, Rectech. You want a pizza oven? You can get a Blackstone pizza oven. You can get a Uni pizza oven. You can get a Gosney pizza oven. We did Coach's Corner last year. We had pizza, less than 2 minutes.
Wow.
The Uni's what I have, pizza oven.
That's what you have?
Yes, it is.
That's nice.
I didn't know you carried those.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it is nice.
It's crazy.
I need a pizza oven for my patio too. You could be,
Walking out with $2,000.
my bank account may be gone after I go over there and see all your goodies that you
Bring your
have.
wife with you so she can go through.
Well,
the
it probably won't be spending as much if she goes. That'll be the issue. I'll come without her.
Well, we'll just send her over into the novelty, the gift
There you go,
area.
there you go.
We'll start her off with a little Hallmark, and then we'll go from there.
They're perfect. What's on the menu this week at Coach's Corner?
Fajitas.
Fajitas.
That's right, fajitas.
Yeah.
You making them?
Got another buddy's doing it.
Will you use the Blackstone for those?
Yep.
We have, yeah.
All right, cook the torts on that Blackstone. Or tortillas.
We have a great advantage because we hit demo a Weber, a Traeger, a Big Green Egg, the pizza oven, and we just go, hey, I'm going to take this and show it to, we're going to cook tonight at Coach's Corner. These guys, somebody will buy one.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Jeff lets me run one home and so on, yeah.
I'm usually at Porch Coaches on Thursdays, but now hearing the food options over there, they might be a little bit better. I think Porch Coaches is going to have to up their game.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, because they're buying hot dogs from the cheerleaders.
Yeah, they have hot dogs. Sometimes I show up at Mike Mann's house and he's got hot dogs in a crock pot.
Exactly. Like, what is that?
What is that? I'm going to Wasion.
You wrap it up in a foil or something, make it look good.
Rice, beans, I mean, we're going all out.
So where do you do Coach's Corner, Rick? Is it the same place every week?
Yeah, one of our buddies,
Okay.
at his house, in his garage. Popcorn popper, we have popcorn while we're there, a little something to get you started.
I'm going to have to bring the Porch Coaches guys over there so they can get educated a little bit to up their game.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit
Start with Mike Mann.
I think they...
Margarita, big thing of margaritas.
You get Louis Milk. Does Louis go to Porch Coaches?
Oh, yeah, he's there.
The last thing he needs is margarita. I can tell you that. Good Lord.
Spike Whitman.
Oh, jeez.
He needs a muzzle.
We'll have to, if we take all those guys, Glenn will have to drive them in his transportation network van.
Wow. Yeah, that could be bad news.
Yes.
That mixture.
Yes, it could.
Aaron, Rick, thank you guys so much.
Thank
Have
you
a
for
great
having us.
season. We'll be following you. Thank you so much for what you do for high school athletes around Northwest Ohio.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
We absolutely
Thank you,
love
guys.
it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Tory, thank you.
Yep, love it.
Check out our KK Collision football show this week. Going to have the great Lynn Schrickle on with us. Be great visiting with Coach Schrickle.
Always is.
Friday, Gamecast presented by the Sports Place at Wasion East is Liberty Benton at Columbus Grove, and then Saturday morning, Rise and Rewind as we finish out the week at 9 a.m. here from American Freedom Energy. You can watch that live on our YouTube channel. Have a great week, everybody.